Hello, everybody, and welcome to Virtual Travel Escapes. It's a little web series that Paul Travel, we wanted to share with you and explore some different destinations and experiences from around the world. I know we're all eager, but the time is going to come, and hopefully soon that the world will open up back again. And I think there's a little light at the end of the tunnel. So we hope you find this inspirational and continue to dream about where you want to go. I'm Rhonda Swehan, the leisure manager at Paul Travel, and the lovely Julie Bekdash is my co-host and a co-worker. Hi, Julie.
Hi, thanks, Rhonda, and welcome everybody.
All of our presentations are being recorded. So if you have missed any of our past webinars, please, you're going to find them on our paultravel.com/webinars, the website. There's a whole list of them there. So, if you have some time and you want to visit them, please do. Next week, we're actually going to be taking a little trip to Turkey. It'll be kind of nice to get a little feel for what Turkey's all about. It's really going to be featuring a little bit more on Istanbul and then all the must-sees around the country. So tune into that if you're interested. It's going to be a little bit later in the day than our typical website or webinar, sorry. It'll be at 6 p.m. because they are going to be joining us live. So it'll be a great special a webinar to join into. Now, if you have any suggestions at all on any destinations you want to hear, I know Julie and I have been receiving a few. Please let us know. Any of the girls at Paul Travel we're open. So if you happen to give us a call and you want to, share with them where you might want to see something on, so please let them know as well. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. I know it's a beautiful day here in Alberta. I think spring is in the air, but I think it's a great day to kind of sit back and have a little taste of the little jewel in the Indian Ocean, the Maldives. Gosh, I know it's been very intriguing for myself. I've always wanted to take a trip into the Maldives. It's a long way to go for us in Alberta. It's halfway around the world, but you can do a little stop off in the Dubai or maybe in Singapore. But it's one of those little places I think it'll be really great to find a little bit more out about. So I'm going to turn it over to Julie, and she's going to introduce our guest. And if you have any questions at all, please put in the Q&A box or in the chat. Julie will monitor it and we'll make sure all of your questions get answered by the end of our presentation. Again, thank you for joining, and Julie, take it away.
Perfect, thanks Rhonda. And again, I'm so happy to have all of you with us. So today we have with us Angelique and David Johns. I met them a few months ago. We had one of those travel agent conferences, and I got to meet them. And what they do is they represent bespoke companies, smaller hotels and boutique hotels sort of around the world. And they work sort of as a liaison in educating, travel agency partners about these places so that we can share them with our clients, letting us know the specials and what these places are all about. So today, we are so happy to have them with us. I'll let you know a little bit about them. So we have a husband and wife team here. They've been married just about 16 years. So Angelique, she's been sort of in the travel industry for over 20 years. And then David has an HR background and sort of joined the team at Wanderlust Collection about just over a year ago. So we're so thrilled to have you both with us. You make a dynamic combo, the two of you, with your business and your travel experience. And so I'll hand it over to you. You can feel free to unmute yourself. And again, if anyone has questions, just pop them in the chat and we'll answer them at the end. So welcome you two from sunny Florida.
Well, good. Well, for us, good evening. For you guys, good afternoon.
Yes.
Love you.
Thank you both so much for inviting us. We really appreciate it. And we're really excited to share some information about the Maldives. So I am going to share our screen here.
You have to love technology.
All right. So in case you wanted to just see us again, I'm Angelique, and of course, my wonderful husband, David. And these are this is us. We love to travel, and we love to share our love of travel with other people. So you'll see actually the two pictures on the corners are both in the Maldives. The top one was when we spent New Year's Eve 2019 into 2020 at a fabulous restaurant in Paris. And then the bottom one, if anybody's a college football fan, we are both Buckeyes. So that
from the great state of Ohio.
That gives you a little information about us. So in talking about going to the Maldives, and Rhonda, I think I'm going to listen in next week as you're talking about Turkey, because that is one of the stopover destinations for the Maldives. So, you know, in North America, there are several of the larger airports that you can transit to get over to the Middle East. Toronto, Chicago, and of course, New York, but then from the West Coast, LA, as well as, sorry about that, LA, as well as Dallas. Now, the US carriers that fly over, you know, will tend to fly through London or Paris. And then the Middle Eastern carriers, such as
Etihad, Emirates, Qatar,
all fly through Abu Dhabi, Dubai. And as Rhonda said, that's a great place to stop over.
Or if you'd like to go to Turkey and be in one of the best airports in the world, because it's, I think, just over a year old. And, you know, you can fly Turkish Air, which is a wonderful airline also.
Yes. So many options to get there. And certainly having a stopover does make it a nice thing when you're flying that far. So once you get into the airport in Malé, that is actually the international airport for the Maldives. And from any of those locations like Dubai or Doha, it's about a 4-hour flight. Mm-hmm. So it does make a nice stopover point if you wanted to do that. And then once you arrive into Malé, we have two ways that can get you to Lily Beach. The first is this seaplane, which takes about 45 minutes from Malé direct to the property. The other option is, you know, for those that may arrive at a later time of night or are not interested to fly in the seaplane, there is a domestic option followed by a 20-minute speedboat. So that kind of gives you an idea. It definitely is, you know, a long distance to go, but I will tell you, I think both of us, we've been there a number of times. It is unlike any place in the world. So right now we'd like to just take a few minutes and show you a little bit about Lily Beach.
miss Lily Beach.
Wouldn't it be great to be there right now? I think if Rhonda and Julie can look at any comments that have come in, I would like to know who is ready to jump on a plane right now and just go there and join us. We'd certainly love to have you. I know it'll be a little bit of time yet, but definitely a destination to keep on your radar. So just a little about Lily Beach. It is the original all-inclusive luxury resort in the Maldives. And we always like to talk about how it goes beyond, you know, a traditional all-inclusive, like an all-inclusive that you'd see in Mexico or in the Caribbean. It is definitely a little different. And what's different about that is not only do you get all of this amazing food, top shelf liquors, all of that, but they also include 3 shore excursions, which we will tell you about as we move on.
And for the record, the picture on the upper right-hand side is actually the picture if you're coming in on a seaplane. That's the picture, the view you have as you land. And you know, our first time in the Maldives, we did the seaplane, and then every time since then, we've done the domestic flight, which allows you to take a regional jet, what we consider a regional jet here in North America, fly to one of the local airports, and then take a 20 or 30-minute speedboat ride.
All right. I think when everybody thinks about the Maldives, the first thing they think of is those overwater villas, which we definitely have there. But I also wanted to let you know that we have some amazing beach accommodations as well. So these are our newly updated beach suites and beach suites with pool. And we always like to say, you know, our first time to the Maldives, we definitely did that deluxe water villa, definitely an experience, you know, that everybody should have. And now that we've been there, we actually love to be right on the beach. All right, those overwater accommodations at Lily, we have on the left-hand side of the screen our deluxe water villas. One thing, I'm laughing because our first trip to the Maldives, I can be a little clumsy. And you see those steps there. I told David the one day I'm going to go down to go in the water, and he said, be careful, just as I fell down the last few steps, because they are in the water. They do get a little bit slippery. So that was our joke. I always had to make sure I was really careful when I was going down the steps.
3 points of contact. Now, I can tell you another great thing about when you go to the Maldives, whether you're looking out from the bedroom or you're looking out from your deck, you never know what type of sea life you're going to see, whether it be one of the friendly sharks, and I now know there are friendly sharks, or if there's going to be a stingray going through. It is just one of the most peaceful things you can ever do. And you can just sit there and be mesmerized throughout the morning, day, evening, whatever it might be.
Okay. And then talking about some of the additional features of the Maldives, because it is unlike any destination that I've ever been to. I think David as well. You saw in that seaplane, or as we were going over, that it is literally the Lily Beach takes up that whole island. And that's how it is for all of the properties. So there's all these things to go and explore. I talked about the Platinum All-Inclusive Plan, which includes all the food and beverage, as well as a few different shore excursions. But then there's also some additional features for those of you maybe that have families, and you'd actually be surprised at the number of families that we do get at Lily Beach. But we have a Turtle Kids Club. And so the kids can go there and relax and enjoy, you know, their time away from mom and dad. I don't know if some of you maybe have been homeschooling with everything going on, but this definitely gives the kids the opportunity to go and check out some different things that they can do on their own. As well as we have, you know, a kids pool, we have an adult pool. In that top photograph in the middle, that's the spa. So it is an overwater spa. When you're getting a massage, there's nothing better than looking down and seeing the glass below you and seeing all the sea life David talked about swim right underneath you.
And if you're concerned, I had to make sure she put the picture on the upper left-hand side. If you're concerned that you're going to be getting well drinks, that's not the case, as it goes from Tattersall champagne to the top shelf alcohols of Scotch, bourbon, whatever you might be. So as Angelique said earlier, this is not your normal type of Caribbean or Mexico 5-star luxury. This is truly luxury the whole way. And then the lower left-hand corner picture, you saw that on the video, is one of the many restaurants you have the choice of going to. And we have made some changes since COVID came around, that, you know, instead of having that buffet in the morning, now you're being served that, so that, you know, you're safe the entire time.
Yes, and that is one thing, definitely one area. The great thing about Lily Beach, it did not close at all throughout 2020. And so they've had the safety measures in place for quite some time. They were one of like 5 resorts that stayed open throughout all of 2020. To get into the country currently, they do require a negative PCR test. And then upon departure, we actually have a medical facility at Lily Beach that does the testing to get back.
And that's included, there's no additional cost for that. So they make sure that before you leave, you've had the test, make sure you're negative and can be on your way.
All right, now this is absolutely one of my favorite slides. You can see that's me waving over there in my life jacket as I was out snorkeling. And I will tell you about one of the best days of my life, except the day that, you know, we got married. But
wow, it's crazy how you really got happy about that day you were snorkeling, and then you patted me right now saying other than that other day. Okay, that's fine.
So, well, I was there the first time. Unfortunately, I wasn't there with David, but I was with that group of wonderful women up there. And we did an ocean adventure excursion. And I will say, I was kind of nervous, but what we did is we went out and we actually snorkeled with those large sea turtles over there. So we were able to be in the water as they're coming up for air and then diving back down, and just watching how graceful that they are was absolutely amazing. From there, we went to another area to see those amazing manta rays that you also see on the bottom right. I will tell you, I was scared to get in the water, but I thought, you know what? I need to do this, overcoming my fear. And they actually took a video of me, and I had my snorkel mask on, and you know, you could actually hear me as the manta ray was coming towards me. You could hear me screaming through my snorkel, and then they just dived down. But they are absolutely amazing creatures. I mean, there was probably 5 to 10 that were just swimming all around us, and it is certainly an adventure that I would recommend to anyone.
The other unique thing about where Lily Beach is located, it's south of Malé, so it's in the UNESCO waters that are protected. So in addition to the turtles and the manta rays that Angelique is talking about, here's one of the few places on the earth you have a chance to see a whale shark. Unfortunately, Angelique didn't get to experience that while she was there, and I can't wait to get back to see if I can experience it. But there's unique things. If you're a diver, as we found out during this pandemic, sorry, we have our dog in the background. That's what happens when you work from home. If you're a diver, we have some of the best diving sites you can go, whether you're a beginner all the way to advanced, so you're going from the single tank to the double tank to whatever you guys do who dive, and they have the special mixtures going on. But yeah, you could literally dive every day at a different place and experience something different.
Yes. The other part of that day that I talked about with the ocean adventure on that bottom picture, we actually did a sandbank excursion, and the picture above showing all of us there having our wonderful meal. The team at Lily Beach took us out to the sandbank, and it can be done for, you know, if you're celebrating a special anniversary, for proposals, you know, a group of family, multi-generation family that just want to spend the day together. It's something that we can customize. So we went out on this sandbank in the middle of the Indian Ocean. You look around and you cannot see any other island, any people. And we had this amazing lunch, you know, cocktails, and we just really were able to get to know each other and, you know, experience something that I have never seen in all of my travels. So definitely a great day.
Well, let's be honest. Your favorite part was when you were out in the water and they were bringing you the champagne and your drinks. Let's be honest here, right?
That is true. They did serve us very well. And that is the kind of 5-star treatment that you would receive as well at Lily Beach.
And then for those of you experiencing a special celebration, as Angelique talked about, whether you're making a proposal or you're going because you have a milestone marriage. And by the way, 16 is not a milestone. That's just, you know, we're on our way to a bigger milestone. The picture on the far left-hand side, for those of you who can see it, that is actually, you can leave a mark in a good way on the island. So all around the island, you will see these hearts are made out of bamboo, which means they're, you know, things that will grow back quickly. But you can leave a special thing there for your loved one, or in the case of Angelique, she talked about leaving it there for the group of people that she traveled with. Now, one thing, so that the first couple of things Angelique has talked about are additional excursions, but I think we need to take a moment to talk about what's unique about Lily Beach and Resort is the fact that you have a choice of 3 excursions. Every single client gets this, 3 of 4. So for myself, the first one I did was handline fishing, because I have fished all around the world. And Angelique has done that with me also. And, you know, believe it or not, she beat me, which I still don't understand how that happened. So get your fresh catch and then take it, and the chef will make it a day or so later for you. Or you can go, we have a wonderful house reef there that you can go snorkeling on. And your first time will be with a guided, one of the folks from Lily Beach, to make sure you're safe and sound and you're good. You get to keep your gear your entire time. So if you want to go back, you can do that. So that's 1 and 2. Your third is if you're looking to see the green flash, I believe that's what it's called, the green flash, that we've seen twice now, I think, in all of our travels. But then you get to go on a sunset cruise that will give you that ability to do it. And then Angelique's going to talk about one of the things that she has done, because believe it or not, after 16 years, there's some things I like to do, she likes to do. Sometimes we go opposite ways. So tell us about the 4th excursion.
So the 4th one is a visit to a local island. And I really like to, learn about different cultures while I'm traveling. And I don't have a whole lot of knowledge about the Muslim culture, but we did take advantage to go to the local island. We were able to see the mosque. We were able to experience, there was actually a palace there for one of the former kings that we went through. We were able to see how people lived, and it really was enlightening. It was something that was very nice to do.
So as a part of your all-inclusive, you have your alcohol is included, which, I'm big about that. Great food, 3 excursions, and then you can add on from there.
Absolutely.
Did I miss anything on Lily Beach?
Non-motorized water sports are all included. So, though you saw the glass bottom kayak, you can, get one of those and go out and do that. You can, as David said, snorkel at any time you want. There is really a lot of additional activities, nightly entertainment. So it's really a great opportunity for you to see the Maldives.
Yeah, and I'm going to go off script here a little bit, because I did see in the video there was a 2-person kayak, which you and I know we cannot be in a 2-person kayak because we have 2 leaders and we're going in circles.
Yes.
So
we are very competitive, so we do better when we each have our own kayak.
All right. I believe now we're going to move from Lily to the other property that we represent. So if you look at a map we saw earlier, Male, you were going south to go to Lily Beach. Now we're going to go to one of the most northernmost points of the Maldives. So there's about 1,200 islands, or atolls as they call them, and about 280 are inhabited, I believe. And in this case, you're about an hour away from the tip of India when you get to Hideaway. So let's go ahead and play this next video for you.
All right. So the wonderful Hideaway. So I think probably, one of the first things I noticed when I went from Lily Beach over to Hideaway, definitely the size of the island is even larger than the size of Lily Beach. The other thing that you'll notice, and you probably saw it on the video real quick, but on this picture on the right, you will actually see how secluded these units really are. They are a true hideaway. The other thing is all of the units at Hideaway, we consider them villas because they are quite large with a separate living room, separate bedroom area. In addition, we also go up to 2 and 3 bedroom units. So, and most of the accommodations on Hideaway have their own pool. So it's naturally being social distance before we even knew that was a thing.
And I don't know the convert feet to meters, but just from that, the smallest unit you can get at a beach residence is right about 1,200 square feet inside. And I can tell you, I worked there for parts of 6 days, and my view was, as you see the beach and the water.
All right. So here as well, we have beach accommodations as well as the next slide will show you the overwater accommodations. But the great thing here, and I can't say it enough, is just the amount of privacy and the amount of area that you have. So whether you're a couple, whether you're a family with kids, you can see in this top picture, you have all of this beautiful area before getting out to the beach. You can see the separate living room. I will tell you the bathrooms here at Hideaway are unbelievable. They have that indoor outdoor concept. So you can see in that bottom picture, that amazing tub. And then top right is a 2-bedroom unit. And then right below that is actually my favorite unit. It's the Deluxe Sunset Water Suite. So that is on the west side of the island where you see an amazing sunset. You have that beautiful lap pool. And then you have all this interior area as well.
Then I would also like to mention, because I'm the experienced guy. My wife, she's been in travel forever. Don't fear, the bats you see are fruit bats. They're not going to harm you, but that's literally, besides seeing whoever you're with, you'll see fruit bats will fly throughout the day.
All right, and then here we have our overwater accommodation. So at Lily Beach, one of the things that you'll see is that Lily is about 60% families, 40% couples. At Hideaway, it's kind of the exact opposite. It's about 60% couples, 40% family. In addition, our overwater accommodations here are, start at the Deluxe Water Villas, and then we have Ocean Villas that even have more room. And then we have 2-bedroom Ocean Villas. So for those of you maybe that have kids that are a little older, great accommodation to do the 2-bedroom, either over water or the 2-bedroom on the beach. All right, some of the features here at Hideaway are, we have several pool areas, and David and I joked when we were there, the hotel was pretty full. But because so many of the accommodations have their own pool, we'd go to the larger pool and there wouldn't be anybody there. The one day it got up to 6 people, and David and I looked at each other and we're like, wow, this is getting way too crowded. We might have to go back to our own pool. But, it just, because the villas are so big and because so many people have their own pool, a lot of folks just, stay within their unit there.
If you're one who wants to become one with your chi and you want to have a purpose when you get on the mat, there's no better than the lower right-hand corner of doing yoga out on one of the docks and just really becoming centered with yourself. Then you can also see there's some pictures, I believe, there of folks that are enjoying some water sports, that all the non-motorized water sports are included as a part of being there.
And then on that bottom photos, again, I am very clumsy. David, I don't think he wanted me to do this area, so I didn't, but we do have an activity park out in the water, with trampolines, with things that kids can climb on, as well as our kids program that we have on land.
And if you want to make sure you don't gain an extra stone on the trip because the food is just so good, whether it be Lily or Hideaway. Fantastic gym here, along with a great tennis court area with a tennis pro. Now, I will say, if you want to go do those things, do it by 10 in the morning because the humidity is a little bit up there compared to you fine folks in Canada right now.
All right. And definitely some great experiences here. I know we're only touching on, you know, a few of them, but there is every water sport that you can think of, from deep sea fishing, you know, to jet skis, to snorkeling, to diving, you know, whatever you're looking for, there is definitely something for everyone here. Kayaking, canoeing, all of that. We were fortunate enough when we were there that our group went on that boat you can see in the right. And of course, that's David with all of the women from our group. But we went out and we were able to see, we did a sunset sail with dolphins. So it was just amazing, first of all, to see this beautiful sunset again with nothing else around you. And then the dolphins following us. It was really nice. Here as well, we can do that sandbank option. So whether it's for, you know, a couple for an anniversary proposal, or if it's family that just wants to go and really reconnect with each other, we can do that.
And I think the last thing I'll leave you with before we open it up for questions, and hopefully we have some questions, is people always say to me, David, why do you go to the Maldives? And it takes forever to get there. And it's the truth. It does take parts of 40 hours on your body clock to get there. But these pictures don't do it any justice at all. And the great news is we have the video, but this is one of the most favorite places. Long before we represented hotels there, we went there, and it was one of those that said, we have to come back here in 5 years. And well, little did I know it'd be like 18 months before we went back. But the fact is, there are some wonderful places out there, but this is one of the most favorite places we have. Any one of the resorts that gets into our hotel representation has to meet the criteria of my lovely wife. We call her the Chief Wanderer, and she wants to make sure that it's a 5-star luxury experience that you will not forget and you will talk to your friends about. And I laugh a little bit because, you know, if those of you, I'm not sure your age, but I remember back in the 80s when people come back and show me a slideshow and I'd be like, I'm bored. Now I'm that person here in 2021 doing a slideshow to say, these are the great things you can do. All right, so I guess at this point we will go ahead, Angelique.
I'm going to.
She's the technical person in this.
Sharing right now. There we go.
Thank you both. It's nice to have a little bit of banter between the two of you two, and just feel like we're sitting having coffee with you, hearing about or happy hour with you, hearing about your stay. Wow. If anyone has questions, put in the chat. I was just going to ask a couple of things. So maybe it's the same, but at either of the resorts, what is the average length of stay?
Yeah, so definitely for, for those of us coming from, over in North America, the length of stay tends to be between that 7 to 10 nights. One thing prior to COVID, sometimes people would do 3 or 4 nights at, one property or 2 property. David and I are not people that once we get into relaxation mode, we like to stay into relaxation mode. So the thought of packing all up and going to another property for us is just not something, that we would do. And I think definitely Hideaway has a little bit longer length of stay because folks are doing, their honeymoon there. They're doing, big anniversaries or big celebrations. So they tend to stay a little bit longer. Certainly, if you're going to the Maldives, I would always recommend, that you're at least planning 7 to 10 days total with travel time and everything. And
I would also like to add in, the great thing about going to Maldives is whether you're flying through the UAE or you're going through Turkey, take that time to get your body clock right. Because when we leave from the States, we leave from New York, and you're on the plane and you're on the plane and you're on the plane, and you finally get to the UAE, one of the 3 places you might go. And we've done it multiple ways of flying straight through or taking the time to spend the night and let our body clock catch up. so that that first day is not wasted on you, because I mean, we're all human.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Perfect. And then I'm just going to ask about the food. So being that you're so close to India, is there an Indian influence in the food, or what is a typical menu like?
Yeah, so it really is a mix based on, you know, all of the different cultures that are coming to the resort. The Maldivians have, you know, their own style. It involves definitely, you know, a lot of fresh fish, a lot of fresh vegetables. I think one of the things that David and I discovered our first trip was this, you know, fresh tuna that they would have at breakfast. And that was our favorite thing throughout. You know, definitely everything, a lot of fresh items, but they are an environment that is, you know, similar to in the Mediterranean, that Mediterranean type diet. They are looking for all of those, you know, natural foods and fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. But then there's also, you know, at Lily Beach, we have a kids corner on the buffet where, you know, there's fresh chicken tenders and fries, and, you know, so it really is a mix. The pizza is one of the best, you know, it's a like a flatbread pizza, but they have a Italian pizza oven at Hideaway. So that's an option. You know, there is some Asian influence as far as, you know, Chinese food. Each of the resorts has, you know, that Southeast Asia kind of restaurant, Tamarind at Lily. So it has that spicy cuisine. But the great thing is there's different restaurants based on different tastes. And then of course they always have, you know, burgers and, you know, BLTs and everything like that.
Or if you have a special dietary need, whether it be a vegetarian or vegan or whatever, we can 100% work with you on that. Mm-hmm. Now, I will tell you, I shouldn't choose the most special place, but my favorite restaurant between the two is Samsara, that has one of the best whole fish that has this Asian Southeast flair. It's a whole fish and the flavors just jump out at you. I posted on Instagram several times and it just came up the other day and I'm like, I started drooling like my dog does. I was looking at it like, oh, I wish I had that right now.
That's amazing. The food always tends to come up in our webinars, Rhonda, and I love to hear about the food. Can you just touch on if there's different seasons, maybe the best time of year to go, your favorite time of year to go?
Yeah, so, you know, kind of high season starts right before festive season, so mid-December, and kind of goes through the end of April. You know, before we had all of the different weather changes, you know, the Maldives would experience a little bit more rain in the months from May, you know, to October, but I've been in May, we were there in December, we've been in February. And really what I say in the summer months, that May through October, it's kind of like Florida in the summer. You know, you wake up and it's humid and it's beautiful. And about 3 o'clock, you get a little thunderstorm. And by 4:30, the sun's back out, you know, the humidity's back up. So for me, I don't think there is, you know, a bad time to go to the Maldives. And certainly if you're looking over that time period from, you know, April to October, you can definitely get some great savings.
Amazing. Perfect. And to answer your question earlier, who's ready to go? We have some people that are already packed.
I saw some folks are ready to pack and go.
Oh, that's super. I don't think we have any other questions, Rhonda. Was there anything that?
Yeah, I was just kind of curious if you guys can, I know that obviously the Maldives are fantastic for water sports. I'm a diver, so it's one of those places that are on my list that I want to go and experience. But I heard also that surfing is really quite popular in the islands and really kind of draws a lot of that, not necessarily a surfer type of people, but people who are really interested in that. Is that kind of the case on all the islands and even where the hotels that you were talking about?
So it depends on, you know, the areas. As David talked about, you know, in the South, Ari Atoll, which is where Lily Beach is, it's great for whale sharks. But up in the north, you don't see them as much. So very similar, you know, for surfing. There will be some islands that, you know, depending on the wind direction and all of that, definitely have better surfing than others. You know, our two properties, we don't, you know, have surfing, but there are some properties, or there are some areas nearby that we can absolutely take guests if that's something they're interested in.
And it's almost like no different than being in the Pacific, where you have Hawaii certain seasons has, you know, the islands that you go surfing, and then all those people that are true surfers will go to Mexico, Costa Rica, depending on what the weather is doing. It's a similar thing in the Maldives, because, you know, quite honestly, as my dad used to say, you're about 6 feet above sea level at best on any one of these atolls. So every one of the properties we represent is protected by some type of form of break area. So it's great for your kids to go in, because you don't have to worry about big waves coming in. But yes, are there big waves? Yes. I've gone, you know, deep sea fishing out there, and we caught some pretty big waves. But once you got back to property, it was, you know, it was copacetic.
Yeah. Oh, great. Good. Excellent.
I see that someone asked what kind of dog we have. We are a rescue family. So we have our second rescue. He is a lab and pit bull mix.
He's more pit bull than he is lab, let's be honest.
Yeah. And his name is Apollo, because in addition to the Maldives being one of our favorite places, Greece is also another one of our favorite destinations. So the dog we had before him was Zeus, and now we have Apollo.
Great names for dogs.
Yeah.
One other question is, what currency do the islands use?
Yeah, so they actually, believe it or not, everything is on the US dollar. Yes. So at the airport, you know, for any excursions, for anything like that, yeah, it's very interesting that out of all the different cultures, or all the different countries they go there, they operate based on the US dollar.
You know, I think you brought up a great point there of all the different people that go there. So you have folks that come from China, you have a large Russian influence there of clientele, along with people who from the UAE, because it's only a 4-hour flight. So for them, it's like going to Hawaii if you live in LA. It doesn't take that long to get there. And then we also have Europe, and we've met people in our times in the Maldives, or North American folks who live in Germany or London, and it's relatively short for them to get there. So it is a cosmopolitan style place to be. And the staff reflects that also.
Yes. So the staff, you know, at the properties, you know, there's over like 30 languages spoken at the properties from the, you know, from all of the different staff. And that what we do is kind of match those folks up with people from those countries, so that they can always feel comfortable that they have that. And I was laughing because David was talking about folks from the UK, and he does say, you know, you gained a stone, which, you know, is definitely a British thing to say about weight. So it was funny that someone commented that.
Oh, did they comment on that?
Yeah, someone said, David talked about gaining an extra stone. I think you meant to say 14 pounds of weight.
Oh, no, I'm
yeah.
I don't look like from the south side of London.
As far as diving, we have several packages. So, you know, Rhonda, if you went and you wanted to do a 5-day package, you can do that there, which definitely you get some savings there. If folks just wanted to do a 1-day dive, they could do that as well. But lots of options. Look at that.
I love the whale shark. I want to be in that picture.
You and me both. I know, it's so amazing. And this is the whale sharks in the Maldives.
Yes. Yeah, I can tell by the color water. So we have our social media person, and I'll be looking at something. I'll be like, listen, that's Mediterranean blue, or that's Caribbean blue. That's the wrong blue. I know Maldivian blue water.
Yes.
Oh, it looks like it's glowing in some of those pictures. It's just stunning.
It's beautiful.
We have some great questions, just a couple more. Is the diving, is it like a per day charge, or would it be a per dive? charge?
Yeah, we can do it both ways. So individual
both.
dives or package. We do get a lot of divers that come for like 10 days and they want to do like a 5 or 7 night package. And, you know, the great thing, Lily Beach, there's, I believe it's over 100 dive spots, you know, within 20 minutes. So plenty. And that allows the dive team as well to be able, you know, based on the weather conditions and clarity and all of that, it allows them to direct, you know, where's best for the divers.
And if you want to go there and get certified, was it PADI, or I'm not sure.
Patty,
Patty,
yeah,
you can
the
help me
Patty.
there. You can do that, and they will make sure that they take you in areas that are actually safe for a beginning diver versus a person like yourself that, you know, is more experienced and can go down to a deeper depth and meters. So let me throw out another, you know, non-US measurement meters.
Yeah. We tend to use both.
Okay, good.
So it's a mix.
Yeah.
Just another question about those whale sharks. Are they, since they migrate, is there a certain time of year that is best to see them? Maybe when do they go there for like their calving season or?
Yeah, so there, you know, they say that the best time is, I believe it's October through March is the best time to see them. However, you know, we do see them year round. So I was there in December and we didn't get to see any, you know, they were everywhere trying to find them for us. But then folks have been there, you know, and they're seeing them now. So it really does just kind of depend.
Okay. And then is there like an average, or sorry, and it's okay if it's hard to tell, we can always find out and get back to people, but is there like an approximate cost for a dive?
You know, I will get that to both of you.
Okay.
I'm not, you know, a diver. I have the information off the top of my head. I really cannot recall what that is, but I'll get it to you guys so you have it.
I just took a look actually, and it's approximately, it's per tank. Like if you do a 1 tank dive, it's $100 US. That's kind of the average of it. That's what I kind of took a look at it. But I think it does kind of depend on the resort and such, but that's kind of the average.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that information too about, we can get to anyone who's curious just to email us and we can get back to them on more information about the whale sharks and the diving and everything. And then I think pricing as well. If you want to just email Rhonda or I or your agent, we can get some information. Doug, if that's okay to you, just depending on the time of year and which resort it is and which room category, as to what the price would be. But that sounds super. I hope I didn't miss any questions, but if there are any, make sure you let us know. Thank you so much, David and Angelique, for joining us in this evening, and cheers to
Cheers.
Yeah,
I'm missing a cocktail.
Well, we loved joining. I hope that you can hear us as we talk, that we truly have a passion not only for travel but for, you know, the properties we represent. And we love working with you know, travel advisors and Paul Travel, and, you know, happy to answer any questions that you guys have. If you get them to Julie and Rhonda, we will definitely get back to those, and hopefully soon we'll hear about you making that trip to the Maldives.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you guys so much for sharing your knowledge and passion. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, great. Have a great evening, everyone. I hope to see you next week for Turkey.
Bye.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.